I'm going to show you the best I can how to make these rock cliffs so it looks like all one piece. And I'll show you how I color them and paint them as well. So this is the first one that I've just finished on my new railroad. It's about 14 feet long. And it looks pretty good. And underneath the rock gravel here is actually a drain pipe. I built this to hide the drain pipe and have it run outside because this railroad's on a raised bed. So when I build a rock face, I use this wire mesh. It's real tight wire mesh. You can get it in rolls at Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store. And I just cut it to wherever it's going to go. But right now, this bigger mountain that I have, I've just laid this piece out just to show you what it looks like. So once that wire mesh is tacked in place, you can use just about anything you want, nails or screws or anything you got that's just laying around to help hold that wire into the dirt. It's just pinned into the dirt side of the wall that this is going to get a rock face on. So once that's pinned on there, I just use Ready Creek mortar mix, and I mix it up, and I use a bowl float and just get it on there and get it to cover the wire so it makes kind of like a hard shell. This is what it does right here. And then the next step we're going to do is we're actually going to make the rock face on top of that. So this kind of provides a lightweight retaining wall, so to speak, and all your decorative cliff stuff will go on the outside, and then I'll show you how I paint it after that. So this little wall was brown coated yesterday. It's about 6 feet long and maybe 12 inches high at the highest point. And I want to make it look like just a cut off sharp cliff as this track kind of climbs up into the bridge right here. So it's in place right now with that wire that I showed you, that wire mesh, and it's just pinned right into the soil. And then I used a bowl float just to put the cement on there and brown coat it up on there and get it hard. The next part's going to be is to use this piece of aluminum foil for our first casting. And we're going to use Rapid Set mortar mix for that. And the way we do this is we're going to coat this in the cheapest oil you can find, and I bought it at Walmart for a gallon. And once we get this aluminum foil coated, we're going to fold it all up and wrinkle it the way we want it. And then we're going to use the Rapid Set mortar mix and apply it to the wall. And the way we do that is we take a little spray bottle of water and get that section wet. We're going to start down here, and we'll load this up with the cement and then stick it right on there. So I'm going to be doing that next part with just one hand because I'm holding the camera. So bear with me here, okay? I'm going to start down here on this end, mainly because the sun is shining over here and there's no shadow, and hopefully this will let you see it a little easier. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that brush right there and put the oil on the aluminum foil and get it ready for the cement. And I mix up just enough cement in this bucket to get this first cast on. So you're going to need a bowl float, a bottle of water, spray bottle, and a little trowel. And you should be ready to go. So here goes. One of the nice things about putting the oil on there is when the cement goes on, it tends to make the cement real smooth when it goes up onto the cast. So that helps because sometimes the rock faces have a real smooth surface when they've been fractured off the side of a mountain. So I've flipped the mortar mix up onto the wall and then used the aluminum foil and further help shape it the way I think it's going to look. I wanted to have like a little cliff outcropping right here. So we're going to pull this off in a few minutes. You don't want to get in too big of a hurry because you don't want the cement to drag off with the aluminum foil when it comes off. It leaves a better texture if you let the cement dry a little bit before you pull the aluminum foil off. Okay, so here's our first piece coming off, and I'm going to just start down here on the corner. And as we're going to lift this off, it's always a surprise because you're really not sure what it's going to look like. So here we go. And there's our first piece. Turned out really good. So I'm going to use a water bottle to kind of shape some of these cracks in. I'll spray some water on it, and I'm going to use the trowel to kind of shape it a little bit more. But that's pretty much how it goes for the first one. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and then once it dries, I'll show you how to paint it. So I've got 3 of the aluminum rock castings that I made stuck up on the wall already. That rapid set mortar mix just sits up really hard, so I usually only mix up like 1/4 of a bucket at a time, work my way right down. But you can see the amazing difference, and I'm shooting this from the other side of the yard now. But as we move along, this piece is going to turn out really nice. So once you get a piece on and you peel aluminum foil off, use your water bottle and your trowel to join them together so it looks like one contiguous piece. So this little cliff is completely done. I just tied it into a rock pile that was tied in with the bridge over there. It looks pretty good. But now the next part is just to let it dry down, and then we'll come in and start painting it and coloring it. So it's time to go have a beverage of your favorite choice, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So this little rock face that I did is all done, and it looks pretty good. It's going to look better once it gets colored, obviously. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this all up with a waterproof masonry coating, and this is what it looks like. This stuff is really expensive if you have to buy it retail. Sold by Sherwin-Williams. So find somebody who's got a Sherwin-Williams account to help you out, or get a coupon. And you can have this tinted to any color, and I've had this tinted to a very, very light gray, but you can make it any color you want. Now this stuff is super thick, and when it goes on here, it's going to help fill out any voids and just make a real nice coating to do the coloring of the paint that we're going to put on here. So here we go. So I'm going to show you how thick this stuff is. It's like a pudding or like a cream. And so I got it mixed to light gray, but that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to put it on here now, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. This is all sealed up now with that masonry paint, and it's real thick, and so it really gives a nice feel to everything. Kind of helps smooth out the rough edges if there's a real sandy spot or something like that. But this is the base of where we're going to start to do all the coloring for this rock face. So I'm going to do the painting of this rock face we've been working on. And the first thing you're going to need is some bottles of these Chapin multi-purpose sprayers. And I mix the paints that I'm going to use about 50-50, so they'll spray out of these bottles. These are little pump sprayers, and they work great. So the first thing that's going to happen for me is I'm going to paint the whole thing a gray color, and then I'm going to use these washes that I have. One's a rust, one's a black, one's a light beige, and one's kind of a brown gray. Then I have a water bottle. So once we get it painted gray, we're going to come back in and use these spray pumps to do the color of the different shades of the rock, so it looks like it's weathered and got water drips or water stains and those kinds of things that you see on a rock cliff. That's what we're going to do now. So I had the gray base coat on, and then I came back in and hit it with this real light beige color as that dries off. And then I'll come back in with the other colors. In this case, I hit it with the black. I'm letting the black set in first. Then I'll come back in with the brown and the rust. So right now, I've had the gray base coat put on. I've used the light tan color that I had, and the gray brown and the black, and I've used quite a bit of the black to start blending it all in. And I'm at a distance now about 10-15 feet away, and it's starting to look pretty good. So the sun has come around and hit this and dried it up pretty good, and I think I like it just fine. Matches my other one. It's got this gray tone to it with the blacks and the rust coming through where the water would have drained down the hillside, and with a little bit of the beige and the sand in there, and it looks pretty good. So I think I'll leave it and plant and see how it turns out. So that's how you do it. It's pretty simple. This part is just all about what you think looks good. If you don't like it, just spray it some more.